you came in May, is that right?
Yep. I started about the second week of May.
Okay. And did you learn anything new that, like, I know you grew up here, but this was me as I, like, got older in the community, like, anything that existed that you didn't know of before coming into this? Like, whether it be an organization or an event?
Well, I did work with the Racers Across America event, so we actually organized a hospitality event for them, and it was really cool to meet people. I didn't realize that they were coming from all over the world. So there were people from Slovenia and countries that I had never even heard of that came through and actually had to stop in Greensburg. And it was a great way to promote our town, too, and meet those people.
Very good. Yeah, there's just so much that goes on, and I was always fascinated. I'm like, I had no idea. And
it is. It's amazing. We just think we're just little old Greensburg, but I think about all the industry and stuff that we have here, and how things that people go to work every day and do something that has an impact. Well, basically all over the world. The things that we manufacture, the stuff that goes on here, it's just impressive that people don't understand how important their role is to play. No matter what it is they're doing, they're impacting people, not just here but everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're happening.
That's right. We are a happening little town. We sure are. So let's talk. Where do you guys want to start with? You have a whole lineup of things to talk about.
Oh, I know. Lily, is there something you particularly would be passionate about talking about, or you want me to take off? Okay.
Yes. Well, here at the foundation, one of my main roles is helping with the mental health grant. So we were awarded $5 million from Eli Lilly Endowment to help with just mental health facilities and different aspects in our community. So the main one that we are supporting is the CIT program. So what that is a crisis intervention program. So they intervene, and they're actually a part of the sheriff's department. So they approach criminals and people in need just with a different approach than what typical police would do. And we were able to support them, which has been awesome. Another one is the Community Health Care Clinic, which, Emily, you can probably tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're very thankful for that. So we're excited to expand services. We'll be offering mental health services. We're working on broadening our footprint, getting a little more space, because you wouldn't think of it, you become crowded in an area very quickly. We've used up our space. So we're going to be expanding our actual footprint out there at the health clinic and offering an additional day that focuses just on mental health. So we are super excited to get that underway.
Yes, I'm so excited to see that as well.
We're just excited that it's working out, because the targeted, I'm going to sound like some official person, the targeted demographic. No, we want to have mental health services available to anyone who needs them. We don't want it just to be based on, I've got great insurance so I can do this, or, if you're underinsured. The Community Health Care Clinic is a wonderful partner to have, because they want to help. They don't care about the ability to pay or the type of insurance or any insurance. They want to be there to provide. Not only are they going to be branching out to help with mental health resources, but they also have dental clinics and just regular, physicians who can see people who have issues that haven't got a reliable way of getting the health care that they need. So it's neat to have that out in the Rural King Plaza. Yeah. I really think they need a bigger sign.
That's coming, Tammy.
I keep telling people, they're out there, they're on the far end, but they got the teensy little sign. So we want people to know, because they want to be accessible to people in a place where people know that they're not hard to get to, and our community, we need to reach out. The whole thing with the mental health grant was Mike Eggleston's term, I think. He's now our CIT director. He started out as the jail commander with a vision of creating a CIT. Way before there was a budget to create the CIT, he was working the program to get established what he could with what resources we had. But anyway, he said this is wraparound services.
Absolutely.
It's like, let's try to figure out everyone's role in the community, what they bring to the table, and who would be best suited to do the particular pieces that we're missing. And I think this week we're going to start the process of basically mapping the assets that we have. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's SIMS. And we're going to strategically figure out what we have and what we don't have. And then what we don't have, how do we get it? So it's just a neat thing that's designed to enhance what we have available, find out what we don't have, and where we can go to get it. So, I took over.
You did good. No, all working towards that. Absolutely. Yeah. We're excited too. The Community Foundation helped the community healthcare clinic with our dental clinic as well. And we are in construction zone right now.
Yay!
So hopefully the end of the month, I will say the end of August, we'll be able to have a little ribbon cutting and have that new stuff all officially put in and ready to roll. So.
Again, it's huge for a lot of reasons people don't understand, but families that have to be on, I'm going to say the wrong thing, Medicare or Medicaid. There are no dentists locally that accept that. So if you're a family that has that for your insurance, you have nowhere to take your children to go to the dentist before school starts, and they're going to make it that much easier for people to have access to. Nobody wants to have to run to another county to go to an appointment, and the other counties have a backlog because there's such a shortage of dental places that can accept that. So, and I don't want to blame our dental places. It's a complicated process anytime the government's involved.
It is. We have all learned that, haven't we? So yeah, we're very excited though. Very thankful to be awarded that grant, and we're pumped.
Cool.
Good stuff coming.
I can go ahead and cover some of the other grant recipients as well from the first round. So we had our neighbor, the Decatur County United Fund. They received some money for Hope Boxes, which they have these boxes and they're going to hand them out to organizations in Greensburg, and they'll have some basic necessity like hygiene care items and then also some resources for mental health. So it'll be a great way to impact those individuals in Decatur County. Another recipient of the grant was the Decatur County School Corporation. So they'll have a one-day training for new elementary teachers, junior high, and high school teachers. And this will help them just approach students with mental health problems or students that are lashing out in class. And this grant will also cover the Dr. Dusitol book fees, which,
Yes.
Tammy, you might know a little bit more about those books.
Okay. Well, the books, actually, there is a program, and the county schools have already had the training for all of the elementary school teachers. So this grant's going to help any new teachers that come in, and they're hoping to move the programming on up into junior high and high school. But basically, it's a new way of looking at the kids that are acting out in class, the ones that come to class and fall asleep at their desk. Our law enforcement's already been proactive in this area. If they're aware of a family that's had some kind of crisis overnight or through the weekend, they are now, if there are students involved in whatever happened in that home, our local law enforcement kind of gives a courtesy call to the school to give them a heads up that little Bobby or Sally may not have their best day at school because they had some really adverse things take place at home. And it lets the teachers not just say, oh, they come from that family and they're always causing problems, to thinking, oh man, this kid's been through something and they may need to fall asleep at their desk, or they don't need punished sometimes for the way they're acting. It's the only thing they know how to do. So it's kind of going at things in a holistic way where you figure out what is the cause of the problem, not just let's get him out of my class so I can teach. I can't imagine all of the issues that teachers have on their hands, but teachers are embracing this proactive method of working with the kids, figuring out what it is they don't have at home. People would be shocked to find out, like right here in our little county, people might live in their own little bubbles and not realize there are kids who don't have food at home. We all know that, there are lots and lots and lots of families that have broken families, not both parents, just a struggle. And this is a way to help address those struggles with the kids. So these teachers are, looking forward to getting the training, and our schools are already seeing good results at the elementary level. So they're hoping that the program will work for junior high and high school also. But starting them out on the right foot's the most important thing of all.
To use Mike's term of the wraparound is sometimes, knowing that event has happened, but then also being able to identify whether it be sleep, but then they also need food or they need rent money, but finding what those families need.
Right.
It really, I feel like working with this group as we have as a community.
Yes.
We have been able to identify so many things that we can all pull into.
Right. Get
best
all
outcome.
all of our resources out there so that, and already like CIT, before they even had uniforms and bells and whistles, as soon as they had 2 of them on the team, they were responding to some things just because they were trying to dip their toe into what should they go to and what shouldn't they. And even responding to the scenes of accidents. That's not a mental health crisis, like first and foremost, but you've got people sitting there in an accident. It's getting investigated. The officers don't have time to see what the other needs of these people are. They need to figure out what happened. If they're, you need to have the ambulance there. But by the same token, there are people just sitting there, and I've heard that they go out, they've offered, you're going to be here a while. Would you like something to eat? Do you have anybody you need us to call? I heard at the one scene that it's like, oh, they're going to need more car seats to take the children that are not being lifelined. They're going to need car seats to get these kids safely somewhere else. And CIT arranged for that stuff while the officers were busy handling the traffic and the scene of the accident and getting all the details. So it's I don't know. It's just going to be a good thing for everybody involved that we've got an extra set of eyes and ears out there that are able to, like you said, wrap around their arms around the situation and see what's needed and help. So it's
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while we're on the topic of schools, we had 2 other schools that were recipients of the grant. So St. Mary's will have a 2-day-a-week social worker, and I'm really excited to see the impact that'll have on the students. I know that's important to have someone in the building that can directly work with those students. And Greensburg High School will actually be providing some services for their students as well. So they are going to use a system called Cartwheel, which is an online counseling program. So it'll be really accessible for students and easy for them to access at any time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping it's a 3-year program, but we're like funding the first year, and they're going to be watching to see who's using it. Are families really getting any benefit out of it? And if it works, it could be something that's expanded to we could expand the whole thing if it works.
Yeah.
If people will take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So very, very cool.
Yeah, I think they're also going to be hiring a holistic counselor as well.
Right. We're partially funding that position, and that person's job will be to these poor people, the people in the position of being school counselors. Ironically, they were set there to help kids figure out their career path and get them the right classes and get them going. But instead, they're also trying to spread themselves really thin and counsel because of traumatic things. Well, this position that we're going to partially fund for them is going to make sure that the kids who need the extra help the names are given to the counselor, the holistic counselor, and that person is going to help introduce the kids and their families to this Cartwheel. And it's not just for the students, the families of the students that are signed up for it can actually use it too. So
very nice. And that's free of charge to the students and
yes,
families.
Yes.
Very cool.
So we're curious to see how that plays out. But again, trying to figure out, we don't want to just throw the grant money out there, but we're trying to figure out what's the best bang for our buck, what will have the biggest impact, and what can we carry on into the future. What I don't know. We're just trying.
Wrapping those arms. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Yes. The Speranza House is another recipient of the grant, and I think they'll be using theirs for the peer recovery coach development program, which will help some of their clients. And then they'll also have a licensed social worker to oversee some of the programs and kind of assist any issues that come up. And the grant will also be used for capital improvements within the Speranza House, so it'll help better their facility just by it'll provide some money for the boiler, the roof, windows, and some other facilities within there.
Right. They just opened up a second facility, and they're doing such a great job and having such great success that other places around the state and the community, they're all reaching out saying, well, we need you to take this over. We need you to do that. So they're trying to stay in their lane, do what they do best. But this peer recovery coach, they've had several students I don't say students, clients go through their program and come out the other side wanting to make a difference and wanting to help and serving in that capacity. So they're going to formalize the process so that they can help pump more recovery coaches out into the community. Whether it's our community or someplace else, they're going to have more people who have been down that path and know what it takes to get back out of it. I mean, I can talk to you all day about what you need to do, but if I haven't been there, are you going to believe me? I mean, I don't believe me.
You haven't walked it.
It's right. It's like somebody saying, oh, I know how you feel when you've just lost a family member. And it's like, if you haven't lost a family member, no, you don't know how someone feels. Well, it's the same thing with recovery. And these people have been through it and came out the other side healthier and working towards being whole, and they want to help other people. And I think the peer recovery coach thing could be amazing.
Very much so. Just someone that's been in those shoes to be able to guide a little bit, I think, just offers a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting to just know that there's so much more potential with this grant and what it can do in the community. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
And that's just in Greensburg. We actually have another grant recipient that's in Lake Santee, which I actually had never heard of, Lakeview Wellness, but they provide wellness and other services. It's a nonprofit, and it's located near the marina at Lake Santee. So there's a building, and it has like a pool, and it has some rooms in there. And with our grant, they're able to make that handicap accessible so people can enter that. And they have mental health counseling services there. They have classes there. They have yoga classes where they have volunteers come in and instruct those classes. So it's an awesome opportunity for people at Lake Santee.
And it's not just restricted to the Lake Santee residents.
Okay.
This is open to the public.
So that area of the county.
So the northeast section of the county, instead of having to come into Greensburg, and sometimes there's just people are embarrassed to go seek the help. Well, there's a counselor who works with Lakeview Wellness who also has an office at Studebaker Studios. Well, now she'll have people that can actually access her there. So part of the renovation was just so that they can make a separate entrance. So, you don't want people sitting there taking notes of who all's walking in there for help, because that, again, it's hard for people to even ask for help sometimes, but to have a spot where they can go and be confident that not everybody in the world's going to know their business. So that's what's happening out there. And they are doing amazing things also with the special needs community, Lakeview Wellness is. So it's lots of good things are going on. Regardless of what you read on Facebook, the world is not going to heck in a hand, whatever.
That's right. There's a lot of good.
There's a lot of good and a lot of people trying hard to do the right things, or to help make it better.
And we talk about the mental health, and I know that we use this statistic when we were talking about expanding our services, because we ask some general questions when people come in just for statistics. But one question that's always asked is, do you suffer from any mental health illness, depression, anxiety? And just out of the people that answer, and they come every time and answer those questions, but I'm going to say answer truthfully because not everyone's ready to admit it.
Right.
The answer was yes for 30%. Of the patients we see.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that number, you think, okay, so how many more are just, they're not there yet to say, I need help. So for us, that statistic was really, I won't say alarming, but eye-opening that we need this in our community.
Yes, yeah. Well, again, people are, okay, we'll just throw it out there. I take something for depression. My daughter's 32, and I think she threw me off the edge in the second grade. But it's embarrassing when you have everything and your life is good and there is absolutely no reason for you to have that. It's not something you can help. It's just there. And there are people that you never would have guessed it, and they're walking around happy and they're smiling and they're putting on the front and doing everything they can, but inside they're a train wreck. And it's very hard when other people have terrible situations. I would hate to ever say that I have a problem, because other people have real problems,
Sure.
But it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to nail down. And again, you throw any extra trauma into somebody's life when they've already got struggles in their, I don't know. Life ain't easy.
It's not. But as a community, we're working to
make it better. That's
yeah,
right.
We sure are.
That's right. It takes all of us and everybody pulling together. I just, for all the people who spew negativity, if you could just put like one positive thing out there a day, the world would be better.
Just a little, I call it just a little sprinkle of glitter.
My mom always said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything. And there are times when I just sit there with my mouth shut thinking about that because nothing's going to come out that I'm going to be proud of later, so
it's not going to be productive. That's right.
Exactly.
So we'll continue to hear more about the community, the mental health services as CIT continues to form and services come to life. And
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, we could do a monthly update as things roll along. But did we miss any of the grants, Lily?
I think we got all of them covered.
Okay, cool.
Very
cool.
good.
Well, I don't even know. During all of this, I've got a board member, Rick Johnson, who's deeply involved in the community. I want to put him, he's a little guy, I like to put him on a pedestal.
Yes.
But he and his wife, Mary, retired to our community, and then they both give so much of themselves back to the community. So he's real involved in the emergency management and crisis intervention. He's on my committee to do this. But while he was at a training somewhere, he became aware of there's this little autism seatbelt covers, and he came back all excited, and he asked the board to consider an opportunity grant to buy these for Decatur County. And now we're partnering with, I believe the ARC has got some of these that they handed out, like maybe at their Arc in the Park. But we have a handful of them left at the Community Foundation. They're just a long, skinny thing with Velcro that says on the outside, autism. And it's got like the little International Red Crossy thing on it. Says may not respond, may be unaware of danger, may resist help. And the seatbelt covers are intended if you've got somebody in your family that you drive around with, if you were in an accident, if you have a nonverbal or a combative autistic person, whatever, first responders aren't going to know that. And they may try to get somebody to respond and not get an answer and think that they've had a head injury or that there's something wrong. But these seatbelt covers will alert the first responder that they should handle with extra care. And if they're not getting a response, it could be because they're nonverbal. So it's just one more tool that, it will help the first responders do a better job of knowing who they've got in the car and how to take care of them. And again, they are free to the community. So if you've got somebody in your family, if you would like to have one of these seatbelt covers, you can stop in the Community Foundation. We're at the corner of Main and Broadway at 101 East Main. The ARC has some that I believe when they have their next ARC in the Park, they'll have them available again. And if we run out, if there's that big of a need, we'll be happy to get some more. So,
Tammy, hold it up for the camera so they can see what
hold
that
it up
looks
for the camera. We're on, Lily, you're on camera.
Flip it over.
Flip it over.
There it is. So that way people can see what it looks
Yes.
like. But easy to identify. And
I never thought I had to comb my hair for the radio.
You didn't. You don't have to. We don't care.
Okay.
I think it's a very cool project, though, and
it's really simple. It's just like
it just slides over the seatbelt,
and it will. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Velcros
very simple, and what
very cool.
I think as a provider too, and I think about those that I know that are first responders, being able to identify that, especially in an accident, such that it's a blessing because then they know kind of what's happening. So
right. It's just one more tool to make everybody a little bit better situation. So
that's right.
So we have those. What else do we have going on here? Mental health. Oh, speaking.
That was a surprise.
Lily Endowment, they do so much for the state of Indiana. Well, we also, the Community Foundation administers the Lily Grant, the Lily Scholarship application. And Jenny Shebler in our office has been in communication with all of the school counselors, and letters will be going out to let students know what their opportunities are going to be. And I believe they have to be a Do you remember 3.7, 3.4?
I believe it's a 3.4, so those
Okay.
students will be notified in the mail if they qualify.
Yes, and then they'll be invited to, the first step will be proctored essays at each of the 3 county high schools. So be watching for that. The application actually opens up August the 1st, but school starts so darn quick that we don't even get finished sending the scholarships off with the students here in the fall before we're already starting a process
ones.
again for next
Yeah.
year. So it just never stops.
It's ever evolving, isn't it?
Yes.
And the Lilly Scholarship, that's a full ride.
It is full ride-ish is right, because the IRS they only want the scholarship to pay for tuition, and they have a book stipend that those students win. And the Lilly is only for Indiana colleges. It doesn't matter whether it's a private or public, or state college, but it has to be in the state of Indiana. And then the Community Foundation, the 4 runners up get $5,000 each. And again, those I believe have to be Indiana colleges. So
It's still a good deal, no matter how you look at it.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Very much so.
All right. Let's see here. Students. Oh, we're supposed to remind any students who received the Bernie and Lucy Lehman. Those are 4-year renewable scholarships, but we don't know to renew them unless we get a transcript from the student letting us know that they're going back.
It's time
this
to
is
renew.
Yeah. So make sure if your student has received a Bernie and Lucy Lehman scholarship and they want it to continue, they need to reach out to the Community Foundation and send a transcript so that we know you're enrolled again. So it's lots of students in the pipeline, and it's a whole lot of keeping track of people. And we've already had students that have already changed, that are just going to school this fall, who already have changed which school they're going to go to based upon what they submitted in the first place. So there's lots of checks flying back and forth between our office and the different colleges, Bursar's office, and lots of student IDs. It's mind numbing,
right?
Yeah.
It's a lot to manage.
It is. It's impressive. Lily did. She did a real cool little educational moment for the board at last Friday's board meeting, and one of the things that she was showing, she just scrolled through on this big screen, and it showed all the scholarships that had been cut. And one of the board members remarked, it's like, oh my gosh, we talk about them, but to see them all in a list, that's impressive. And it's like, yes, it is. And then certain board members who have check signing capabilities are afraid they're going to get carpal tunnel, because it's like,
just
oh
signing,
my
right?
gosh.
Sign away.
That's right.
It's a good problem. It's a very good problem. And I did want to let people know, because I'll talk so much we'll run out of time. We've got the coolest thing. If you're looking for like Christmas presents or present for that hard to get for a person, we have the book for sale in the Community Foundation that was written by the late William Smith. He had done all the research for the Underground Railroad, the sections of Decatur County that were involved. And this is all very factual stuff that he backed up with digging things out of the records in the courthouse basement and all of that. He had done a book earlier that he self-published, just printed, but this is the updated version, and it's called A Brief History of the Underground Railroad in Decatur County, Indiana, and it's a very nice book. They're on sale for $20 at the Community Foundation. I've already got an order in for 5 of them, because I'm going to give them out for Christmas presents to people that I know enjoy history, because we had a tour earlier this year to kick off the book sales, and there are spots in Decatur County. We actually have a self-guided tour, a brochure available. If somebody would want to just drive around on some sunny Sunday afternoon, it's got a QR code on it, and you can scan it when you're like at the Kingston Cemetery, and it will tell you what graves and the significance of the people who were there, and it just kind of leads you on the same path that we took everybody on. So that was,
I had no idea that existed.
Yep,
that's at the foundation?
Yes, yep. We have a brochure, and we can, QR codes just really, how anything can read a squiggle is beyond me, and they all look the same, but it works, and it's very cool. And if you're just wanting, it's a good excuse to get an ice cream or a Diet Coke and go for a country drive.
That's
because
right.
It's in the eastern part of the county, but it's all, anybody who's a stop on the tour, was made aware. If they didn't want to be in the brochure, we didn't have to put them in there. And I mean, there's even a cemetery in the woods. It's out towards where I don't even know the road number, but you're going out of the county into Franklin County almost. Used to be an orchard out there. Turn around at the orchard and come back, and you can see a little gate leading up into the woods. And I believe that it was North Decatur students who did it as a project and cleaned up the cemetery and put a walking path up to it of stones. But you can go up there, and some of the people who were in the settlement of escaped people. Anyway, it's just, there's neat stuff to
Very
see,
cool.
and we have something that can lay out how you can go find it for yourself.
Very nice.
Yeah. I also think that we have some people that have pre-ordered books. So if you have pre-ordered a book from the event and you'd like to come pick that up, we're open throughout the week. So be sure to come and grab that. They are going fast. So if you're wanting to read the book and this sounds like something interesting to you, come by the foundation and buy your book.
Quickly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what else we have. Let's see. Last Friday was the board meeting, and the night before I met with my guys, all the local volunteer fire departments. Several years ago, we realized at the foundation that we didn't know what the heck we were doing sometimes. We used to make fire departments wait until our third round of large grants, and then they could all apply. And there's never enough money for the needs that there are, but we like to help offset it as best we can. So, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, we started just deciding, instead of making them compete with large grant dollars, we would just set money aside and let them decide the highest and best use of it. So they submit applications, they look at each other's applications, then a representative comes in, sits around in our conference room, and I just take notes, and they'll talk about, oh, well, you need this, and that's more important than our need for this. And
it's quite the process, isn't it?
It is a process.
Yeah.
But they will rank what they, the importance of what people are asking for. This is more important that you be able to breathe through your apparatus when you go into a burning building than for me to have this thing that's just going to help outside the building. So anyway, so they all work together, they rank the stuff, and then I'll take it to the board and say this is what the committee recommended. And again, there was like $100 and some thousand worth of requests, and we had $55,000. But it's such a diplomatic process, and immediately we're sitting there, and 2 of the departments pulled their request out last year so that other departments could get more for what they were doing. So one of the guys said, well, I think both of those requests ought to be fully funded, since they were gracious enough and they really had put in 2 of the smaller amounts. So the one hadn't even shown up yet, and he walked in, and it's like, well, go home, you're going to get what
you got it.
But anyway, and then they took the remainder and split it among all of them. And so none of them got, other than the 2 who'd pulled out last year, which were Clarksburg and New Point, they got what they asked for completely. The rest of them got $11,300. And there's so many cool things going on. There's so many questions asked. Let's Volunteer Fire Department. It's kind of like, ugh, is this, so Rick Johnson's on that committee too, and then he takes the answers back to the board because he knew there were going to be questions. But Let's Volunteer Fire Department wanted to get a cooler that is like, I want to say FDA approved, I don't know, that can hold blood.
Yes.
And then they talked about how often is that needed, and Matt Morrow said, well, there were 3 times in the last 3 months that we could have used blood on scene immediately. When there was a big accident on 3, there were 3 helicopters, and all 3 of them had blood and were using it. And if our first responders had that, they could start that much quicker. And if anybody can pull it off, it's Matt. I mean, he's got things organized, and blood only has is only usable for
got
so
a shelf
long.
life, yes.
But there's a whole process, and he's thought it all out. And anyway, to make a long story short, there's going to be one of those in Decatur County now, and they can respond anywhere in Decatur County. I guess the closest ambulance service right now that's equipped with one is in Newcastle. But if we have something in Decatur County, they can sure get there quick, anywhere in Decatur County, quicker than whatever you call it, those things that fly.
The
a
helicopter
from Indianapolis can get to a scene. So
Yeah.
It's just one more thing that can give somebody a better chance of surviving. So I'm also happy I live down there between Letts and Westport. It's like, oh, I got all the good guys right here.
Well, you know, you look throughout, and being here, we interact with all the volunteer fire departments,
Yes.
right? And you see how much they're all doing, and they do it because
Free.
they want to.
Yeah.
And, making sure they have the resources that they need, it should be a top priority for our community.
It blows me away. And I've worked with people my entire work career. I've worked with or around people who were involved with the volunteer fire departments. And it gives you a great measure of comfort to know how much time they spend training. And when I was young and thought I knew everything, I thought, they're never going to have to do that. Well, you know what? They're ready in case they have to. And the things that I'd laugh about, like they learn to rappel down. Well, I live where there's a very steep hill, and in the time that I've lived there, I think 2 times people have went off the bridge, and they can get down in there and do those rescues because they've practiced doing things that they hope they never have to know. I know of one time they rescued a horse out of a frozen pond it went through, and they said they'd far rather practice doing that, because some people were mocking the fact, what are you doing that? And it's better to practice and get it right, or with that, as opposed to the first time they try doing anything like that, it's with a person.
Exactly.
So I'm just impressed.
And only if you need that skill one time,
yes,
you still needed it that one time.
Yeah. So it is very cool, the things that they know and the depth of their knowledge and the amount of time that they spend. We drove through Letts the other day, and it's like, oh, they must have had some kind of practice. There was something in the front parking lot of the fire department, like a van flipped on its side, and an ambulance sitting there, and it's like, oh, somebody's training.
Yeah, that's right.
But again, better to know the best way. And I've accidentally wound up at meetings after there have been incidents, and they always review every step, how the call went out, who responded, what could we have done better. It's just very impressive that these guys do this as a volunteer, and we're better for it. So
that's right. Yep.
Yay.
Very, very thankful in our community
so
for
I'll
all
get
those
off my
guys.
soapbox now. I love my volunteer fire department, and there are young ladies and guys out there doing this. It's really cool.
It's amazing to see. I know one of the Queen contestants for the fair this year was on the volunteer fire department, I think I can't remember which one now, so I don't want to say. But, to see like that upcoming, I think is phenomenal. So
Yep. Very neat.
Very good. Next large grant cycle?
Next large grant cycle, I believe the letters of intent are due September the 3rd. And I would caution people, if this is a serious need, you might want to wait until next year because we have been hit so hard that this second cycle pretty much wiped out what we had available for large grants. We're trying to figure out if there's a way we can loosen up funds from another area. But if this is something, I hate to see people work that hard to put a grant application together, knowing that I'm not sure what we'll be able to fund yet. So people who have questions are welcome to call the foundation. We are 812-662-6364. You can go online at, I don't even remember, www.dccfound.org, or you can stop in our office Monday through Friday. Any one of us can talk your leg off, me especially. But
It's small grants every other.
small grants are on, they say the even month, so like February, April, June, August. I got to go through my head and
Through your numbers.
So yes. So December and September, I think, are the last. September, October, November. Yeah. September and December are the last 2 opportunities for small grants.
Okay. And what's the value of those up to now?
$2,000.
All right.
You can ask for up to $2,000, and we did just discuss at Friday's board meeting, we are opening up the teacher grants again this fall. We had the funding, but we weren't sure. They kept talking about changing the process, and we're going to keep it as is for right now. So any teachers out there, these are for up to $500, and it's so that you can do innovative things in your classroom that the school budget isn't going to cover. So that you can partner with a buddy teacher, and both of you can ask for part of it and maximize.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Learn how to work the system,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
that, again, first off, it's been fun. I don't know if we'll be back in here before Lily goes back to school, but we try really hard to make our interns' time count, to let them learn something from it and experience things. We don't have her sitting there pulling staples out and sticking papers in the shredder. We've got her out in the community, and she's checking out things, and she's doing a wonderful job. And we're going to miss her when she goes back to school. Maybe as much as her family does, I'm not sure.
When do you go back to Purdue?
I have about 3 weeks left.
Okay. So home stretch here of summertime.
I know. It's been an amazing opportunity working at the foundation this summer. I've loved it, especially working with Tammy. She's a lot of fun. She's making a face right now.
She forgets it's on YouTube. That's right. She forgets.
Yes.
But no, it's been a great opportunity. And anybody who's out there who dogs the youth of today, you're just not meeting them all. We've got a lot of really great young people who care and who are interested in making things better and seeing what the world has to offer. And I'm just excited to have the opportunity to get to work with them.
Yes. We really recognized that during the fair. We got to talk to a lot of kids coming either out of high school or into college, and we made that comment several times that you may doubt some of the youth right now, but in this county, we've got an outstanding group that's coming up.
We do. They're so smart. I'm blown away every year at scholarship time. It's like the ideas that they have and where they want to go and what they want to do, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And not everybody is going to college. I mean, the ones who want to go be a lineman or learn how to weld or be a carpenter or be a beautician, Lord knows I can't cut my own hair.
That's right. It takes everybody to make the world go round.
Yes, it does. And all those jobs are important. And I just think it's neat that as a community, we can do what we can to help guide them in whatever path they choose to help them be the best they can at it.
We do our best. I think what better of a place to be than the community foundation, because you're giving all day. Like that's what you're doing, is working to make the community better. So
yeah,
it is. I don't know. It's my favorite job I ever had.
I can see why. I'm a little jealous.
I do love it. The only reason I look forward to retirement is because I don't want my grandkids to outgrow their want to be with me before I retire. Other than that, I would do this job until they kick me out or whatever.
Till the end
yeah,
comes.
Because it's something that I can see volunteering for it even after I'm retired at some point. Retirement's at least 4 years away.
But, we got time.
Yeah, but it's something to see all the people who work behind the scenes to make things better. And
I tell people a lot, if you're in the community and there's a project you're wanting to do, don't hesitate to reach out, because I do this all the time to Tammy. I think that I need to do this. But there's different funds, and there's different, so you're not as locked to just those large grants and small grants. There's other stuff sometimes that can be pulled from.
Well, even when we were doing the community meetings to figure out what our overall thing, if we were going to apply for this competitive $5 million, what would it be for? We needed a compelling argument, and boom, I never dreamed that mental health would come to the top of that. But during the process, we met with the small towns, we met with a lot of different people, and somebody was like, well, we'd like a pickleball court. Well, that is not a $5 million project. That is something we could give a grant for if you would apply for it. Other small communities have got some issues with infrastructure. Well, we don't do infrastructure projects, but every time I get something from the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, OCRA, they put grants out for small communities. I forward those opportunities on to these small towns because OCRA can help a small town get, what they need to do a survey of a septic, the issues and problems, underground stuff. Anyway, we try to help hook people up with resources, even if we're not the answer. We usually know another direction we can send them off. So,
there's always a resource.
Yeah.
Just call Tammy. Say, I need help. That's what Emily does. It might involve a little more than that, but.
Well, and there are reasons why sometimes my husband and I, our big fantasy right now is looking for homes in Fairbanks because it's like, oh, I can't do everything. But no, it's a good place to be in. And I do like to give people answers when I can find them.
Yes.
So
That's very good. Well, girls, thanks for being in this morning. Again,
you.
books
Yeah,
are for sale. Autism seatbelt covers, you can get those at the foundation as well. Start applying for the grants and scholarships. It's coming. It's
Yep.
the season.
And we are there. If somebody wants to know something, give us a call or stop in. It's cool in there. We have good air conditioning, so that's the one thing. I walk out
It's
at night and go,
definitely cool.
"Oh my gosh, what happened?"
The humidity is strong right now.
Oh, it is crazy. But yeah, people are always welcome to pop in. There's usually a basket with some candy in it, and
I've never left thirsty or hungry from there. So.
There you go. That's
Right.
that's a rule.
All right, girls. Well, we'll see you, I think, in September.
If-
That sound
if
good?
that sounds good to us.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
good
who
to
knows
us.
what'll happen by then,
All
right?
Who knows?
Well, thank you so much for having us on here.
Of course. Anytime. It's Tree Country, 1330 WTRE.